Hey everyone, just wanted to touch base. Really wanted to send a thank you to everybody who reached out about my podcast. I think Sam and I were blown away by how many people did speak up and did come forward, and the amount of support and thank yous and everything else that came from me sharing my story really brought it home of why I chose to do that. It wasn't easy, no. Was it easy admitting everything that has happened, did happen, is happening? And to be honest, no, it was definitely difficult, but man, the support and the amount of people that have taken something from that has made it beyond worth putting my head out there and sharing my uncomfortable story with you all. The reason I'm checking in tonight is not just for that thank you. I did go ahead and me and Sam have started a podcast with us too. It's going to be called the Today's Good. What that's going to be about is literally today's good. You can take that in two different ways. Today is good, or today's good, which will be stories and articles and things that are put in front of you that are the good things you see today. It's been something I've been wanting to put out for actually a long time, but never did push myself to that point of doing so. So it's exciting for me, but it's exciting for Sam and I both to be able to do that together. My first article that I have been writing for that page and for our podcast is an article about people and losing people throughout trauma, throughout addiction, throughout bad decisions, and when rehabilitation or change or things happen, the energy, the effort, and so forth that's being put place to bring those people back into our lives. Through my traumatic divorce, my traumatic marriage, the relationship up to my marriage, the addiction, the poor choices I made. Unfortunately, I did lose quite a few people in my life that meant a lot to me. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of support from people that have stood behind me for years and really believed in who I was. At this point in time, I would like to kind of put those into some categories and explain to maybe you who has maybe lost people, lost support, wondered why, and what to do about it. I'd like to give you the four categories that I, in my mind, have come up with and put these people into to kind of give you maybe a better idea on where to put your energy, where to put your effort, and definitely where not to put your energy and effort that would cause you to be overwhelmed or more anxiety or possible chances of relapse or whatever it may be. The first category I'm going to talk about is the people who are just gone. I have quite a few of these people. I've very good friends. I've had multiple people in my wedding, people that just a year and a half ago stood by my side on a day that was supposed to be the most important day of my life that are gone. Is it my doing? Yes. Is there also things that aren't my doing? Yes. But I've really stressed out over these people in the last 6-7 months as I've rehabilitated, and I really did think that bringing those people back into my life was a very big part of my rehabilitation, and man, have I learned a lot about the answer to that. It's not necessarily the case. So those people, the people that are gone, whether it's we negatively affected those people, did something to those people that they chose to separate themselves from our lives, or is it something that we were doing that made them choose to separate from our lives? Is it the things that maybe we were going through were too hard for them to watch? It was too hard to watch their friend, brother, family member, sister, whatever it may be. It was too hard to watch them suffer and go through the things they were going through, so they had to separate themselves and distance themselves. So those people that are gone, that are truly just, in my mind, gone, have caused me a lot of stress and anxiety. I've tried to rebuild relationships with people that I did really want to rebuild those relationships with, and unfortunately, it's failed. Unfortunately, they haven't communicated back, or they have communicated but don't show up, or um, just in general are an impossible relationship to fix at the point in time of where you are. Like I said, this can cause a lot of stress and anxiety, but one thing that I really want you to understand and process is that no matter the stress and anxiety and effort you put into these people, they're probably not coming back. And that's a tough pill to swallow. It's a very tough pill that I've struggled to swallow, but I started noticing myself having high anxiety, high stress, high depression even over these people and the fact that I couldn't figure out how to bring them back into my life. So, what I have learned is you can't do that to yourself. You can't do that for your mental well being. You can't do that for your maybe sobriety. You can't do that for the other people around you that are supporting you. You have to let those people go. There is a level of try that I say, yeah, put it in. If it's important to you, yes, try. But just know there is a boundary, and it is important to find that boundary on where that effort stops. It's okay. They, if are truly gone from your life because of the things you've gone through, or maybe your addiction, in my case, my addiction and the things I've gone through, it's okay. They served a time and a place in your life. They served something for you at a point in time, but unfortunately, where you stand in life, where you are in life, they don't serve a purpose. And they definitely don't serve the purpose to make your situation more stressful or for you to have more anxiety. So definitely, please, 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 most importantly, and I can't stress enough, find that boundary of where your effort stops. And if it's sending them a message and saying, hey, this is truly important to me, but also I have boundaries and I have a point where I have to stop my efforts, and they allow that, that's okay. That's their decision. Like I said, they're obviously important to you, but they have served their time and place in your life. Number 2, the people that need time. I find that there is a lot of people that just need time. And these people can be confused into the first category because you do feel it is unfixable and you do feel that your efforts are being wasted. But you also have to know if they need time, they need time. And they may be in that first category for a while. And the next thing you know, they may move into the category of time has served its purpose. I still have a lot of people I put into this category. They need time for me to show them my sobriety, to show my continued efforts forward, to show the growth in my life that I have, which has been phenomenal. To show, maybe to happen to run into them in person and for them to see who you actually have become again, that you have found yourself, or an even better, in my case, a better myself, a better person than who I was before all of my stress, trauma, and anxiety, and addiction. But a little story for you, this last weekend was out with a couple buddies, and actually I was out with a buddy, and as we got to where we were going for St. Patrick's Day, I noticed 3 very, very, very good post friends of mine. Give them a little shout out here: Alex White, Pat Rutherford, and Haley Rutherford. Have I spoke to them since rehab? No. And to be honest with you, I really didn't even have them into a category of people I was trying to heal things with or fix, because it's been a couple years throughout the last part of my marriage and a relationship that I really had a very good friendship with these people. And um, the story goes on is I walked up and I gave them all hugs, and it was amazing to see them. And I started talking to Alex White, and Whitey and me have throughout the years had some very, very good personal, in-depth, deep conversations that we can connect on a level that just we've always been able to connect on points of our lives that maybe we're struggling with. I can remember Alex lost his dad. I'm not sure how many years ago now, and we've been able to have some very deep, good conversations. But unfortunately, through my trauma and my uh, addiction, as Whitey told me on Friday, it became very hard to be around me. And when he saw me walk in Friday, he he told me his first reaction was, "Oh, great, Brandon." But he didn't know where I was. He didn't know where I had put myself back to. So, as the story goes on, we talked for 15, 20 minutes. And he just looks at me and he says, "Man, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of where you are. I'm proud of you for getting self-help. I'm proud of you for getting over the person you were becoming and being who you are now." In the 20 minutes we talked, he truly picked up on who I am again and who I've become and what I've overcome and the effort that I've put into place. And he gave me a big hug and just over and over kept telling me how proud he was. And these situations are amazing when they happen, because you truly get to feel somebody who hasn't necessarily been fully involved see and recognize your efforts and your place in life that you've put yourself into again, or maybe have never even been in. Um, it it felt very good. But the moral of this is sometimes people just need to see you healed and see you sober, see you in a better place, to recognize and to know, oh my gosh, Brandon is back. This person is back. And I'm okay with letting them back into my life. And on the opposite note, I get done talking to Whitey and I step over to Pat. And me and Pat, big hug. How you been, buddy? Pat looks at me and says, "I missed you and I love you, man. And I know a lot of stuff has happened and you've done a lot of things for yourself. Congratulations. But right now, that's not the time for that conversation. How have you been? Let's just catch up." He didn't want to talk about my addiction. He didn't want to talk about my treatment. He didn't want to talk about my divorce. He didn't want to talk about the loss of my stepdaughters. He just wanted to enjoy the company of being around Brandon, and that felt good too. But just know there's people that need different things. Pat didn't need that 20-minute conversation from me to reassure Pat that I was important to Pat at one point, but Whitey did. Is Whitey wrong for needing that? No. Is Pat being too easy by not needing that? No. It's everybody's different, and people may need more time. People may need multiple conversations. People may need months or even years of shown growth and life change for them to want to bring you back in. So know that these people are very common. This is probably really going to be your biggest group, whether you see it that way or not, because most people see the first category of the people that are gone as the biggest group, because that seems to be the group that we hyperfixate on the most. Again, love you, Pat, Haley, and Alex. It was awesome seeing you guys. Alex, thank you for the words of affirmation. It felt amazing. It felt good for you to see that and to recognize that, and things like that really helped me move forward. So my third group is a group that I struggle with a lot. family. Family deserves their own group. Yes, they may place themselves in many different groups, but they deserve their own group because they're family. And family is tough. Family, there is people in your family that need time. There is people that need to see growth. There is people that are going to have doubt, people that you've broke trust with. I've broken trust with my brother and his wife, and we've been very close over the last few 6, 7 years, even longer, no, 10 years. And I've had to prove to them, and I'm still having to prove to them. Do they trust me 100%? No. Should they? No, not if they're not comfortable. If they're comfortable to trust me, then yeah. But if they need more time and they need more visual, they need more whatever it is, I will give that to them. But family is looked at as, well, I'm family. Like, how could you turn your back on me? How could you not support me? Well, I don't know. How could you do things to your family or let your family down like you did? How could you let the people that love you that much go through watching you go through that? Was it intentional? No. But you made them unfortunately go through that because they probably didn't have a choice if it comes to addiction. You have family that is in 100% full support all the time. My parents have been phenomenal. My mom and dad have just insanely, since I decided and came forward about what was going on and decided my sobriety, they've just been nothing but 100% support, and so is Alan and Amy. But like I said, there's more trust and stuff there. But of course, your parents are always most likely most parents are gonna be supportive. Yeah, is there hard-nosed parents out there that unfortunately do turn their head on their children through tough times or addiction or whatever it may be, but just know that those parents definitely could fall into that group of just needing more time and needing you to prove yourself. And you know what? The people that need that time of proof for amount of conversations or whatever it may be, just know they deserve it. You owe that to them. They don't owe you anything. You owe those things to them if you want them in your life. If you don't want them in your life, then you don't have to give that to them. But if you want those relationships to be fixed and healed, just know they deserve it and you owe it to them. The fourth group is the diehards. The diehards are my favorite. Huge shout out to a few of my diehards: Jay Sabalka, Shelly Sabalka, Dakota and Courtney Fintel. I mean, amazing people, all of them. There's definitely a lot more diehards out there. Kane Ruth, diehard who came into my life after treatment. Sam Baker, amazing. He's a diehard. Doesn't matter what I go through, the man's going to be standing there throwing punches at whatever it is that's in my way. The diehards are your feel good, but your diehards are your support too. You, as recovery starts or change starts, there's no guarantee of anything. There's no guarantee that your addiction isn't going to overcome you again. Just know, I mean, addiction is bigger than you are. And that's one thing I've really learned is you have to respect the fact and live around the fact that addiction is bigger than you. But these diehards are going to be the people that help you get back on your feet. They're going to be the people that help you stand tall, the ones that are going to remind you to keep moving forward, the ones that are going to kick your ass if you do slip up, and as they should. These are the people that truly believe in you, and they also truly want to see nothing but the best for you. So you slip up and they're hard on you, take the punches, buddy, because tomorrow they're going to be standing there holding you up when you need it. So respect these people, truly put the energy into these people and the effort into these people as you should, and focus on this group more than you do the ones you lost, because this group doesn't cause stress and anxiety. This group doesn't cause it doesn't consume energy from you that doesn't work out. This group's going to be the ones that continue to help you put that foundation together to build the house of whatever you're trying to do. They are the key to the support. And like I said, I'm very fortunate. I have a lot of these diehards, a lot. And I truly appreciate and respect and love you guys. You guys have gotten me back to where I'm at. Yeah, I've put the effort in. Yeah, I've struggled through the days of depression, anxiety, and sobriety. But if it wasn't for these people, I can tell you right now, it wouldn't have continued, and it wouldn't still be continuing. Off topic a little bit about my article, I guess that's what my article was about. I just couldn't find a way to put it into words. It was type, delete, type, delete, type, delete, and I couldn't find a way to do it. So it happened to be Sam left his podcasting stuff at my house on Sunday because we had a podcast that fell through. And the next thing you know, here I am sitting here podcasting my article instead of typing it. So, but off that, like I said, off that subject, I kind of want to give an update of where I'm at and how things are going. I know there's a lot of people curious after the first podcast. If you can give me 1 sec, I'll be right back. I actually have some notes that I made that I would like to go through for this part. Okay, sorry, I'm back. I just wanted to get these notes up here. So, excuse me, kind of looking the other way. I'm looking at those notes as I'm going to go through this. A lot of different things. This is going to go many different directions, but I'll try to make this as quick as I can. I know these podcasts can get long to listen to. One thing I don't think I truly addressed in my first podcast enough was loneliness and the loneliness of moving into my house and the struggles that came from that. Yeah, it's awesome. I've got this awesome 4-bedroom house, fenced-in backyard. It's awesome for Caden and I. Unfortunately, when I moved in, Caden wasn't here. Caden has now been able to finally see the house, and that's exciting news. It's come since the last podcast. I am getting Caden now more, and Caden has finally seen our home and has spent time here. But I wanted to kind of talk about like loneliness. When you are going through PTSD, anxiety, depression, sobriety, addiction, loneliness can chew you up and spit you out. But it also can be a great thing too. It just depends on what you're using your time, who you're using your time with, and who the people you are putting yourself around. But there is also time that you need to be alone to process and to move forward from things and to really spend time alone to process. If you don't spend that time alone and you constantly run from processing and moving forward and putting a plan together, it just prolongs your situation. But I was very lonely when I first moved in, and thank God for Sam and Kane. I can't tell you how many times I have messaged Kane or messaged Sam and just said, "Hey, what are you doing? I need someone to come over. I need someone to just to bullshit." And it's amazing. Within minutes, I'm on my way, and they'd show up. And like Kane right now, he's going through some things that he is on the opposite side, and it's pretty cool to feel like, you know, Kane's reaching out to me now for support and help and some wisdom, and it's really good to know that I'm back in a place that people can reach out to me again, because like I said in the first podcast, my life became about helping people for a long time, and unfortunately I was a person who needed help, and that was hard to swallow. But it's awesome that I've been able to help people like Kane, and people have reached out, and the people have reached out about my first podcast that I've helped, or they maybe are going through addiction and said, "Hey, I saw your podcast, do you have any advice for me?" Or, "I'm in sobriety, but do you have any advice?" Or, "I have a family member who could use some help, do you have advice?" But I've also had people that have reached out asking me to speak at events, to speak to people, to um, do things like that. I've been asked to speak at some drug rehabilitation programs. I've been asked to speak to people that are in like PTSD situations, trauma situations, and just know anyone who has the question of if I'll speak to one individual or a whole group or whatever all day long. From this first podcast, how much talking about my story has made me truly feel like it's helping other people. I will help anybody I can. So if you need to talk to me or you have questions about a family member or like I said, it is a group event or a public anything, I am not hesitant or scared to share my story and to put that story out there. Yes, there's some embarrassment that goes with it, but the reward is so much better for me. I guess so much more important for me. My next thing on the list was loss of friends and family, and we already went through that. Feeling crazy. I went through a very long period of time where I felt crazy. And unfortunately, no bad talk, no smash. I was in a relationship that I was portrayed and made out to be crazy for so long that you start to believe you are. And I want you all to know if you're in a situation where someone's making you feel that way or you're making yourself feel that way, know you're not crazy. Know that anxiety is a thing, depression is a thing, questioning yourself is a thing. But I suggest if you are at a point in your life where you look in the mirror and you feel that crazy, you probably talk to somebody. And that person definitely can be me, but I have found it really important to talk to a psychiatrist who has helped me overcome that feeling of feeling crazy and understanding that I'm not, and understanding that the things I've went through and the things I did go through were not healthy and normal. And unfortunately, the person involved with who they are and how they act, that's something that those people are very good at doing, is making you feel like the problem or that you're crazy. So like I said, again, if you want to reach out about that, anytime I'll talk. Any of this stuff I'll talk to anybody about, but know that that's something that may take some professional help, and it did for me. Let's see. Finding self-worth. So important. This ties to almost the feeling crazy thing, is you start taking your self-worth away when you feel crazy or when you've been turned into that mindset or pushed into that mindset. But you gotta look back, you've gotta dig, you've really gotta dig and find your self-worth. Find where you're important, find the good things you have. And I'll be honest with you, I struggled with this because of struggling with the loss of people in my life, is I didn't feel I had worth because I was focusing on that lost group of people too much. But when I did this first podcast, my feeling of self-worth, because of all of you and the people that have reached out, skyrocketed. And at the time of filming that podcast, I was so much better. I was doing good. I was feeling good. But I can tell you right now, I feel twice as good. And I feel twice as useful. I feel twice the self-worth than what I did before that podcast, because I found my place again of helping people. And your place may not be helping people, but you have self-worth somewhere in you, and finding that self-worth is very key to the final steps of what I feel are the final steps of truly finding yourself again or continuing sobriety or having a really good standpoint on your sobriety. Um, Sorry, I'm just going through these notes, and I've covered a lot of these things as I've talked, not even realizing I was doing so. So honestly, a lot of those things, I'm kind of done with my list, but another thing I wanted to kind of give an update on my situation with, like I said, Caden. Caden's been home. Caden's been getting to see the house, and my communication with my ex and Caden's mother has quadrupled. Um, we've actually had to have some. We've actually been able to have some normal conversations without hostility, which has been awesome. It's awesome for Caden. It's awesome, so awesome for Caden's sake that hopefully that continues to happen. But just the little bit that it has happened is a huge step for Caden's development and Caden's moving forward with his life. So I hope that can continue, and anyone who can help with that continuing, any support possible, is not only appreciated by me, but I know appreciated by Caden if he truly could understand how important that is that me and Ashley find that place of normal, healthy conversation and co-parenting, a co-parenting relationship that does best affect Caden's life and development. So I think I'm going to kind of wrap this up. There's a lot of really, really, really exciting things coming. Me and Sam have some awesome ideas. Sam's had some really good ideas. We've got a couple podcasts coming up that are going to be really exciting. We've got an episode that is going to actually be episode number 2 for somebody that's already done one with Sam that we're gonna make even better and draw some more out of that could definitely help people. The first one was good. It went through the trauma and all that, but there's a lot more meat on the bone that definitely is meat that could help somebody else, and that's the purpose of what we're doing here. So we're going to do that podcast, like I said, a second podcast with that person in the hopes that it's getting everything out of it that it can for the potential to help people going through things. Other than that, like I said, I don't have a lot more to say. I've gotten, since the last podcast, took a good job, really liking where I'm working. The house is continuing forward. My sobriety's continued forward. Relationships have been rebuilt that weren't rebuilt then because those people ended up falling into the group of just needing time or needing assurance. But I thank all of you. I thank all of you that support me, and I thank all of you that don't, because you are proving to me too of where I need to stand with people and where my boundaries need to be. But also to all the people that need to hear this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for decisions I made. I'm sorry for things I did. I'm even sorry to Caden's mother for things I've said, things I've done, things that I let happen. Yeah, there was a lot of hurt and trauma caused by her, but I'm not angry about it. And I can truly say I'm sorry for the things that I did that negatively affected that situation. And I'm truly sorry to Caden for the things I've done that affected his situation and the amount he gets to see his dad. And that's something I kick my butt on for my addiction a lot, is it did and has and still is affecting the relationship and the amount of time Caden gets with me. So just know I'm moving forward, people. Everyone, I'm continuing on. Things are great. Things are going to continue to be great, and things are going to get better. But I can't wait to share the things that me and Sam have up our sleeve that are coming to you guys through his single podcast, the Get Real podcast, our Together podcast, the Today's Good. But also things that are going to go beyond the podcasting and things that are going to go beyond sitting down and talking with people. We've got some exciting things that we're going to be doing, things that are going to help our communities, the community we were raised in, the community we live in, just great things that help you and are helping me and Sam find our self-worth and maintain and to grow and to use our self-worth to do that. So love you all. Thank you all for the support. Talk to you soon.